Welcome to the Warband, a World of Warcraft podcast. My name is Swag, and with me today is my favorite,
DK.
No, I'm my favorite DK, dude. No.
Wait, really? That's very, what's it called? Very, self-centered.
Self-centered, dude. Oh, what can I say? I love myself, bro. I love myself.
Oh, there's like an actual word for it. Oh my gosh.
Narcissistic?
I can't think of it right now.
Egotistical.
Yes, oh my goodness. Yes, narcissistic. That's very narcissistic of you to call yourself your favorite DK.
That's true. That's true. Anyways, my favorite gnome. In fact, the smallest gnome of the bunch. We have Chicken. Dude, Chicken, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm not terrible. I don't know how, but we hadn't seen each other, but somehow you relayed your sickness to me, and now I'm the one that feels like poop.
Oh, no.
So, I don't know how. Actually, I don't necessarily think I have the sickness. I'm just really, like, down bad with allergies right now.
That makes sense.
Like, it's weird. Whenever there's, like, a major, like, weather change, and it hasn't even been that much. It's been, like, 50, like, the past couple days. So it's not even like it's been that much. I mean, it's better than it being in like the 20s.
Yeah.
But like whenever it's like in like a 30-degree weather change, I don't know. My body's like my body like shuts down for like a couple days.
You gotta reset.
And now my son gets it too. Like he inherited it from me. I don't know why. It's probably the worst thing he ever inherited from me. The only bad thing he ever inherited of me. So I don't know. But yeah, it's been good. I overall feel okay, but
yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if you had what I had. I had pneumonic plague.
You had what?
It's called pneumonic plague.
Shut up. Oh my gosh, dude, everyone's sick though. Oh my gosh,
everyone is getting sick. Speaking of having the sickness, before this episode begins, we're gonna be talking about a lot of World of Warcraft. That's what this podcast is about. So I want to dive into that. Before we do that, though, do you want to get it out of your system real quick?
What?
I'm giving you permission. I'm giving you permission on the episode right now.
Oh, right. Yeah. So, it's been a fun run, guys, but this is actually going to be our last episode. So
that's right.
I know it's hard to hear that, but this is going to be our final episode of the Warband, and we'll come back on April 2nd. And I don't know. What are you talking about? Like, seriously, what are you talking about?
You know what? I thought I would pitch you a softball that you would be able to run with, that you'd be excited about. And I think maybe I was too vague. And so to you, I apologize, my friend.
You were very, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be happy about.
I've hurt you. I've embarrassed you in front of our listeners and set you up with, a joke that you didn't even understand. I apologize.
Yeah.
You know what I don't apologize for, though?
What?
Go Birds.
Oh my gosh. Is that actually what it is?
Yeah, dude. I was gonna let you get your little birds in.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, we got to record. And low key, you were like, hey, can we actually record after? And I was like, no, because if the birds lose, I'm going to be in a sour mood and I'm not going to record. So let's just do it before, and let's just do it. Actually, I probably wouldn't be that upset. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I've followed football pretty well this season, just because I typically follow college football. Little lore about Chicken. I typically follow college football, but this year Penn State has absolutely been utterly terrible. Yeah. So I'm like, I'll just watch NFL. So I've been following the Eagles pretty good this year. So
yeah, actually, for our listeners, so they can, I'll give you guys a little storytelling. Real. Oh my gosh, don't die on me, dude, don't die. So I get a message the other day from one of our guildies. His name's Soren. I love the guy. He's a great dude. And he messaged me and he's like, yo, man, I think I'm realizing that this person in our fantasy football league isn't you. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm not in a fantasy football league. What are you talking about? Why would you think it's me? What made you think I was in your fantasy football league? So he sends me a screenshot of the account, and the account is called Swaglock, and the team is called Cheesesteak Chuckies.
Yep. Yeah,
I mean, it would have fooled me. It would have fooled me. I would have thought it was me.
This is totally some Swag would name his team.
Yeah. And
it felt weird. I don't know why, but it felt weird doing it under my own name. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it under Swag's name.
That makes sense.
And it worked.
That makes sense. But I'm pretty sure he had everyone fooled. But also, one thing you all should know about Chicken, like if I make a joke, I want everyone to know that like I'm making a joke. Like I need people to like find out. I'll just keep dropping hints. I'll just keep dropping all the hints. Chicken, on the other hand, will drop the like best joke ever, and then just let it marinate forever. He'll just never tell you. He'll just never tell.
Yeah, I do that quite frequently, actually.
Yeah, and so it was funny though. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure that's Chicken. Like I told him, I was like, I'm the only person I could fathom doing that has to be the one and only Chicken from the Warband podcast.
Although one of our listeners actually, I think, joined the podcast and was the one that actually was hosting that. I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm like 99% sure, because they reached out to me and was like, "Hey, is this you?" Like right as it started, they like reached out to me and was like, "Hey, is this you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's 100% me." I'll have to look it up.
It might have been J-Rob. I know.
No. I'm telling you, it was someone from the. Oh, it was Draga.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It was Draga. Yeah.
That's
Shout
awesome.
out to Draga. I haven't heard from him in like a hot minute, but yeah, he was he joined it. So I mean, shout out to the podcast and the guild. Like the guild actually pulls people together.
I think
like,
that is.
Who would have ever known?
Yeah, that's something so fun. There's, I mean, I understand that there are a lot of people out there who play WoW as like a single player game. And if that's you, like, awesome. If you're genuinely having fun and there's no interest otherwise, that you're like, whatevs, right? Totally. But man, I always encourage people, like the community that exists in WoW and like the friendships you can make. You might have to sort through a couple bad ones. Like there might be a few awkward ones, a few ones that you're like, I don't know. I don't know if I really want that. But you will eventually find like community, and that community is just amazing. And that's one of the reasons why, like, oftentimes in our episodes, if we don't have like another sponsorship or something, right, we'll just like promo our guild, because we really think our guild's awesome and we want people to be part of it. Like you don't have to prove yourself to us. Like if you're looking for community, welcome in. I mean, if you like, I don't know, dude, start doing some really weird, weird inappropriate stuff, then you can be out just as quick as you're in. But luckily we haven't had that problem yet, so no worries there.
Yeah, guilds are kind of like keys. Once you'll experience a couple bad ones, and they'll put a sour taste in your mouth. But once you get a good key, you're like, oh wow, this was good.
Oh yeah,
this was just good.
Yes,
and then you just want to run that key forever, but then you just can't.
You can't,
because that's not how life works.
You can't just run Ecodome on repeat every day. Okay.
Ask me how my weekend WoW was.
Actually, I want to chat. I want to say something, because again, Chicken's been. I've been intentionally avoiding this topic. Because I wanted to rile him up a little bit. I know Chicken's been waiting. He has been waiting almost 9 minutes now to tell us about this. I want to build it up a little bit. So this week, right? I know he's been working towards a goal, and wow, we all know he's been talking about it. It's a pretty big, lofty goal, one that I don't believe he could ever accomplish.
Wait, really?
No, dude. Of course you can, bro. Of course you can do it. I'm building up the storytelling here. So, anyways,
I was like, wow, that kind of hurts.
But anyways, Chicken's online, and I'm asking him. I'm like, yo, dude, did you do the thing? No response. Ask him again. No response. It wasn't online in the guild. It was on Twitch. I was streaming, and you popped in the chat and you said hi, and I was asking you, oh, hey, did you finish your goal? Would not respond, chat. This dude starts ghosting me hard. Why? Because I knew right away. My whole chat knew. Everyone in the chat was like, bro, he's definitely saving it for the podcast. No shot he's not. So it's time. Oh, wow. I think we should ask Chicken, how was your week? What were you up to?
It's been okay.
Nice. All right. So this week, actually, what I did, I've been working on a lot of player housing, and it's been really good. I've just been like collecting things.
Dude, your house low key is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you like it? I've been like really proud of my house. Okay, well let's get back to that in a second. Chicken, why don't you tell people what you've actually done this week?
To be honest, I haven't really done that much. Yeah,
Nice.
I didn't get KSL. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, you didn't? I thought you did.
Nope.
Wait,
Definitely
what?
did not.
Dude, I thought you had KSL this whole time. You were baiting me?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
I'm not gonna lie. I got on your stream and was like, 69 months subscribed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta send this. And then I was like, I don't got a lot of time to watch, so I kind of just came in and out when I could.
That makes sense, dude. We were all so convinced that you had KSL already. What do you need?
No,
We just run it right now while we record. We just get it for you. I don't like saying we get it for you because honestly, it's hard work for you to do that. I don't always love that language. I don't always love when people like argue with me like, oh, we'll go get that for you because it's like you know.
Honestly, at this point,
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should just. No, it's again. I'm honestly, if you would have asked me like an hour ago, I legitimately was like, I'm about to just give up.
Yeah.
But I ran like a really good encouraging key. That was one that I really needed. That
Mhm.
low key, I'm just gonna say it. Halls of Atonement, I feel like got a bad rap this season. I think that dungeon was pretty clean. I don't think it's that bad of a dungeon. I think there's some butt pulls that I think really tick people off, especially between the first and the second boss. But overall, I don't think that dungeon is as bad as people made it out to be. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe no one was like, that dungeon is really that bad.
I think
I was like that.
I think Halls of Atonement's interesting because it's a cool dungeon. Conceptually, it's cool. It's got an open layout, right? Like, it's got everything you expect. I think it has a couple spots that can be a little rough, right? Like, there can be a lot happening, but it's not, in my opinion, not terrible. Again, we're talking the 12s range right now, right? So not, like, horrendous. Some of the things, though, that are tough in there is some of those early pulls can be a little weird, right? Like, your hardest pulls are definitely your earliest pulls.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that sometimes that can be a problem, but that's not really Blizzard, right? Like, I feel like sometimes we blame Blizzard or a dungeon when it's really like players just doing something.
Oh yeah, players just being like bad.
Right. And I think some of the bosses definitely can be a little bit of a challenge, especially if you group
The
up
second
with people.
boss, yeah.
If you group up with people on that dungeon and they're just like not, dude, I've had some weird stuff happen. So like the first boss, for example, should be pretty straightforward, but I've had people drop those puddles in the wildest places, right? And so all of a sudden, you have like no room. You just have no room, and if you try to wiggle at all, you're gonna pull other packs. Or I've even seen groups where like a dude gets perma-feared because they like don't run into the circle and the boss gets pulled. You know, and again, I'm like, guys, this is like a +10. What? Like, what? How did you get this far? How are you in here? And you don't know how this, like, if they're like, oh, dude, we're in like a +4. I'd be like, okay, cool. You probably ran like a 2, then 3, then a 4.
Yeah,
like,
really.
cool, whatever. Right?
That's
like,
not as bad.
No. So that boss, right? Like, that boss should be easy. That boss should be like a walk in the park. I've seen that one have some trouble. The second boss, as you said, is fascinating because, again, another fight that doesn't seem too terribly difficult.
On paper, it's not that bad.
But then you get in a group and people just aren't doing the imps. They're just not doing the imps. They're not touching the imps. I was in a oh gosh, it had to have been a 10, I think. Maybe it was the same dungeon. I don't remember. But like people just weren't doing the imps. I'm like trying to ping them. I'm like, do the imps. Do the imps.
Yeah, dude.
Right? I'm just like yelling the whole time. The third boss, I think the third boss can be
The third boss as a tank is like a cakewalk.
As an easy tank fight. It can be a little bit challenging for healers, probably. Healers and some DPS. Now, the trade-off is the first boss probably requires a little more tank focus than, you know.
Yeah, it's the first boss is really about positioning.
Yeah. And I actually think the last boss in there is a blast. I love the last boss in there.
Yeah, the last boss is, as long as you're not like a nerd and get like blasted, then it's fine, right?
But that whole dungeon does have very specific, non-intuitive, let me clarify that, non-intuitive mechanics. And so if people don't know them, and they're trying to learn them for the first time at like a higher level, it does get weird. Like it does get weird. Again, that perma-fear will get people. The imps, right? Too many imps will finally get people.
Right.
The ghosty, right? Like the little ghost popping out on the third boss. You're intuitively not like, oh, I should drag this ghost into one of these chamber like pot things, right? It's just not intuitive.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We know it. Like I don't think twice about it anymore, but it's just not like the first time you see it, if no one tells you, you're just gonna get smacked by a
You're
ghost.
just like, what? What am I supposed to do here?
Even the last boss. The last boss is probably the only one that like, that you could probably go in blind and be fine. But even the one soak mechanic in it kind of takes some foreknowledge, right?
Yeah, UI is pretty good with that mechanic. Like you can obviously see the visual lines, and it's like, oh, hey, you probably should stand in between that. Right. Especially everyone else is standing in between them.
Yeah, if you see at least one person do it. So that one's not the worst, but even still, I could see it being a problem. So I'm yawning a bunch. Today's been a wild day for me. But
yeah, you're fine.
Anyways, I like the dungeon. Overall, I like the dungeon. I think I've ran into some oddities in that dungeon, but when you're with a good group, that's a really fun dungeon to run. I think my best in there, is like a 14.
Is that your 14? I know you have.
Let me take a look.
You have a 14 and a 15.
I don't remember what I have, to be honest. I'll take a look. I'll find out.
This guy's got stuff and he doesn't even know.
Oh my gosh! It's not like that. It's not like that. But
it's not like it matters anymore. You've already achieved everything you wanted this season.
Oh my gosh! So what do you need? Like if you were to push KSL today, what do you need?
Yeah. So I need 100% a floodgate. Honestly, if I could probably do it in one dungeon, I think if it was a 14 floodgate, I think I would be able to get it. So I either need to do.
I have a 12 Ecodome.
What'd you say?
You want my 12 Ecodome?
No, I already have a 12 Ecodome. I'm 1 key away from having Resil 12s. It's a floodgate. So I need to do a floodgate regardless. If I do a 13 floodgate, I probably just need to do a 13 of another key. And then that should be fine. So I'm like 2 to 3 keys away. Last week I think I was 3 to 4 keys. Now I think I'm 2 to 3. Yeah. So this week could be a really good week. Dude, I'm farming for 2 things this week: KSL and AOTC.
Ooh, and AOTC.
Yeah, I'm gonna join the good old guild raid on Wednesday and Thursday. Hopefully that goes pretty well.
Oh my gosh, it's been ages since we've last raided together.
Yeah, I know.
I'm excited.
That one's gonna be good. So yeah, I need to run through the normal raid one more time to get the renown track. So I'm probably just gonna do a normal raid at some point today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
That way I can get basically the renown track pretty much done. I think for the most part. Oh yeah, I'm ranked 9.5. So if I can get like to rank 15, I think is behind enemy lines is at 15. So that gives you the extra bonus damage. So that should give me like 15%. So yeah, if I can get to 15 today, or not 15, 13. Sorry. That should give me the yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
Well, if you need a healer for the dungeons, let me know. I will definitely be there though for raid this week.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, it's at this point, I'm not above paying for a carry. Like if it literally, okay, I'm gonna say something I never told anyone.
Yeah,
I've literally never told anyone this. Breaking news for the podcast. Breaking news.
I probably already know it.
No, actually, you don't. I've literally never told anyone this. I was literally 5 points of rating away from KSH in season 1 of Dragonflight, and I was just like, I'm just not gonna get it.
5 points in season 1?
Yeah, of Dragonflight away from getting KSH.
Wow.
KSH. And I literally was just like, I just gave up.
Think about how far you've come now.
What'd you say?
Think about how far you've come now.
I know, and that's why I'm like, right now I'm 2940. Yeah, 2940. So I'm like, I don't want to get in that same boat where I'm like 10 points away and I'm just not gonna get it.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm not ashamed to be like, it's not like, I don't want to say that it's personal skill and it's not that, but it's just like, dude, I've ran some keys over the past 2 weeks that are like, dude, oh my goodness. I ran a street. This is the only dungeon I've DPS'd in the past like couple weeks, and this was a streets. It would have helped me.
Yeah.
I might honestly have KSL if this streets went pretty well. And we were slow. I was DPSing. I was at the top of the DPS chart, so I felt pretty good after that.
At least you're doing good, right?
One of our DPS was a little bit slower, and our tank was doing like 0 damage. I don't know what was going on there, but that was a little sus. Dude, we go into the 4th boss, and the freaking tank dies once he tries to give the password. He gives the wrong password, and I'm like, bro, this is a 13. Not only is it a 13, this is your own key. You literally just bricked your own key because you gave the wrong password.
So, was he just trying to guess it, or like did you get the password and he like misclicked?
He got the password, and I think he just misclicked it.
Oh, probably rushed.
And I'm like, dude, like you just wasted probably a minute of timer when you could have just wasted like 2 seconds of the timer just to make sure it's the right one. He even said in chat, he's like, oh, what's the password again? I don't know what the heck it is. And I'm like, dude, it's literally in the chat, bro.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Dude,
yeah, one.
I'm telling you, man, though, here's the thing. One, you've got some awesome guild mates that you can run dungeons with who will absolutely like, because what you need is you need groups that are like running at the same capacity that you're running at, right? And communication just helps a lot. It cuts down on like the unknown factors. Like you just don't know who you can get in your group, right? You don't want that guy who's coming in who doesn't even know how to do the mechanic, right? I mean, that's not great. Yeah. At the same time though, I can also tell you, come Monday when this episode releases, you best believe a bunch of people in Discord are gonna be like, "Yo, chicken, we listened to this episode. We can help, dude. We're happy to tag along."
No, I agree. I think a lot of people will probably be willing to help.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm really not worried about getting it. It's more just like, at this point, it's like almost like an annoyance.
Yeah.
It's really just like, I just need to just like get in and just do it. Like, and it's hard. Like, this week I'm going to have a little bit more time. So, my work schedule is changing for now. So I'm going to have a little bit more time, but at the same time, I'm like, dang, this has just been such a run. And I'm like, I don't know, like, I want to keep doing it because I think I owe it to myself to do it. But yeah. I'm like, I really just don't want to hit that point where I'm like, yeah, I'm done. At that point, like, I'm dead serious. Like, I will be man enough to just be like, I'm just going to pay for a carry.
Nah, dude, but the problem is you have people, bro. You got so many people who, like,
I know,
would happily do content with you. And
I think it's the problem of just, like, getting those people together.
Yeah.
Because, like, half the time when I'm on, like, there's not very many people on.
I get that, by the way. I always felt so bad. I felt so bad for the longest while, like, asking people to do dungeons with me. Because I'd be like, I don't want to bother them, and I don't know when I'm going to actually be on, and, like, but...
Yeah, right? Like,
you know what? End up being great.
Yeah, I know there's a couple people that I can probably easily ask and just say, hey, like, I just need some help, brother. Like, just help me. Help me.
Absolutely. Well, you're gonna get it, bro. You're gonna get it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about getting it. Like, at this point, like, I think it's pretty like a shoo-in. But it's more just like, like, I just gotta put the time in and do it,
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah, I'm excited.
Sounds like you got a good week ahead,
though.
Sounds like you got a good week ahead of you.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. But yeah, you player housing. Oh, wait. Last thing I did, I ranked up in player housing for my wife, so she's pretty happy about that.
What level did you get?
She gets 3.
Nice, dude. That's why I'm level 3 as well. I'm level 3 as well.
I ranked up level to 3.
Me too, by the way.
It sounds like so sad. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
ranked up level.
Dude, I've got some
3.
friends. I've got plenty of friends who are like ranked way higher than that. They're like
Dude,
4 or
how?
5.
Like, honestly.
Dude, because they probably the honest answer is a lot of them probably did tons of achievements and like quest lines ahead of time.
Well,
and like
if they
rep
already
grinds
have
ahead
like
of
their
time.
mount, it's probably not bad.
Yeah, right. So for a lot of them, they probably logged in and they're like rank 4 right off the bat.
Like they could already go, they could already go and buy the decor. Like they didn't have to rep grind or do anything like that.
Well, a lot of times it just auto. Once you've like unlocked a decor, you auto get one for free often.
Well, that too, yeah. And there's a lot of things that you just don't know about. Like there's a quest in Dornigal. It's a panda. He's like right across from the
Laura
like
Walker
enchantment area. What'd you say?
Laura Walker Cho?
No, I think it's different actually.
Does he take you through stories about lore?
No, he doesn't actually.
Okay,
he
then I
like
don't know
shows
this one.
you vendors that sell decor and other expansions. Like he'll tell you like, hey, go buy this from this vendor in like the Emerald Dream for Dragonflight, and then bring it back to me, and I'll give you a piece of decor.
Yeah.
I'll have to, if I find it, I'll drop it in Discord, in the server Discord, or in the podcast Discord.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick.
But I didn't know about that until like I literally was like, I feel bad. My wife really wants more decor or more places for outside.
Yeah.
Because she just doesn't feel like the outside is good enough. There's more things that she wants to do. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and the
I'm just gonna
200
go.
limit's pretty small.
Yeah, so I just found like a YouTube video and they're like, oh, hey, if you haven't done this quest line, do this quest line. I was like, bro, that literally got me like 20 pieces of decor.
Oh, dang. That's not bad.
And
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I'm like almost halfway through level 3. And I kind of hit the point where I'm like, dude, I can't justify trying to find more. Like, to me, I'm like, I might as well wait till midnight and just get the like renown or levels, whatever.
Really.
Yeah. Well, whenever they start adding the endeavors in, right? I don't know. I'm guessing that comes in.
I don't think that's pre-patch.
No, I think that's the actual expansion. So whenever they add the endeavors in and I can level up, then I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cough right in your ear, but I think they're adding some more decor in pre-patch. I think I could be wrong.
Oh, sick! Even the like little quest line. I mean, I love just getting the decor right. So even that little quest line where you go and talk to the Windrunner sisters, the 11.2.7 quest line, that just gives you like a painting. She's like, here you go, and it's not even like by completing. It's like you do like 3 of the quests, and it's like here you go, and you're like, I didn't even do anything. It feels good. I like getting decor that way.
Go back to the mall to do it. You're like, ugh, is this really worth it? Is it really worth going back to the mall?
You know what though? When I went back to the mall, there was a part of it that I was like, this is kind of cool. Like it is kind of terrifying and cool. I just think the execution of the mall wasn't necessarily great. And the fact that like you get there and you have to like physically walk everywhere. You can't even mount up and run. You just have to walk everywhere.
I think
constantly having going back. I don't know. I feel like the mall could have been cool and they just made it a little too suffocating.
Dude, especially since Dragonflight. I mean, we talked about that. I don't think the podcast was a thing yet when we talked about that. But like we even had conversations just like Dragonflight, like Dragon riding ruin like flying and like traversing land.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
just because it's like so easy to just hop on your mount and just like fly super fast now.
Well, I think in general flying, how do I say?
Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you really feel.
I think flying ultimately is a bad thing for the game. Like, right? Like, I think when they added flying to WoW,
there you go. Canceled.
I think that was a bad thing for the RPG side of WoW, right? For that role-playing game side of WoW. It makes the world feel small. It makes a lot of things feel very skippable.
Oh, yeah. I do agree with that.
And so all of a sudden, like, experiences feel very diminished. Towns don't matter anymore. Like, settlements don't matter. Like, back in classic WoW, dude, like, when you found a town or settlement, that was awesome, right? Like that was your place. That was your spot. Yeah. You were going back to that, right? Like that's your quest hub, but you're enjoying, like you feel connected to that little settlement, right? In current WoW though, you don't like if you come across a settlement, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna do a couple quests here and then I'm flying off, right? Like I'm just
right.
Now with all that said, I think flying ultimately was bad for the RPG experience of WoW. But once you added it into the game, you can't really take it out, right?
Oh yeah,
Because
no.
then every experience is going to be compared to flying, right? So like,
and it feels like awful. Like it literally feels awful.
So it's like, oh, I can fly. Oh, now I'm in the mall and I can't even mount up. Like I can't even use a mount to run.
And you're
right?
like, this is awful.
This is awful.
Like you're literally thinking to yourself, this could not be worse.
And then you look over and see the Worgen on all fours running by, but that's a different story. Different story for another day.
And you're like, what?
But the I think that's where the mall's bad. Now, I will say the dragon riding, I think, was an improvement on flying because I think it at least made the experience of flying fun, right? So it was like at least like, oh wow, this is actually like enjoyable. Like this is kind of fun to move around. So I think that was good. But again, you just traverse so fast and over everything that it does diminish the experience of the world a bit.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, no, I think dragon riding was the right thing to do because it did make it like almost like its own thing. It wasn't just like, oh, hey, this is a way of like just getting around faster, which what flying definitely felt like. It was just like, oh, you can move a lot faster when you fly and you can just avoid obstacles. Like it's so much better. Where dragon riding's like, no, this is like an experience. Like this is a way to traverse the land, not just, hey, it's easy to traverse the land.
Yes. And so it is what it is, but it's cool. It's cool. What were we even talking about? Flying, right? We're talking about flying.
No, we were talking about
housing.
The core because and how you had to go back to the mall for the Windrunner sister storyline.
Yeah, so when I first started doing all my like housing stuff, my original, because my philosophies have changed in the last like week or so. So originally I was like, yo, I just want to build things that people walk into and go, wow, that was really like just cool that you came up with this idea, right?
Yeah.
And so my original house was like a cave, essentially, right? Like when you go to it's like this kind of spooky looking cave. You sort of see like a mage tower sticking out of it, but it's a cool cave. Like it's got vibes. It's got vibes.
Yeah, it's cool. It was cool. Yeah.
And when you go inside of it, it actually feels like you're traversing through a cave until you get to this like little doorway. And that doorway took you into my main, like my little living quarters, right? You had like a table and a fireplace and a little work area.
It was really cool. Like really cool.
And then you had like a bedroom and the bathroom, and then but there wasn't much there, right? It was like very sparse, but you could tell, oh, this is like a hangout spot. And then you traverse down, and I have like my war room, and I had like a couple things in there. But then there's like a hidden curtain that you go through the curtain, and you're back in more cave, right? So like every time you like leave a room, you're back in cave. And it felt cool. And there's like some secret passages and like ways you can sneak around to find hidden rooms and stuff. And I was happy with that. I was really happy with that. But then I was like checking out other people's houses. And one of the things that I found that I actually really like in houses is when they feel lived in, right? Like they actually feel lived in, and they kind of feel a little eclectic. They feel a little magical. And they feel like, yeah, this is the home of an adventurer who's traveled the world and collected things and like brought it home with him, right? And so I kind of, honestly, if you go into like a lot of my other rooms I had before, I've been slowly gutting them of like all the spare crap that's in them. And,
really?
Yeah. So like,
I can't say I've noticed.
So now when you go in, so now when you go in, I have like that main room, that first room you come to after that like stone hallway, and it's just packed. I think I like packed that space just with tons of stuff. Like every wall's got something on it. There's like smaller sections. I've like walled off portions of the room and like have other rooms within those spaces and even like little balconies and things like that. And I'm just finding that having a space feel a little more cluttered and a little more busy actually feels so warm and like homey when I walk in. Like now, actually, like when I hang out there, like I like having my character hang out here. I'm like, I actually like this feels cool to like hang out in this space.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing that. I've also been thinking, I think we should probably do like some sort of housing competition on our Discord.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, no, you definitely, it's funny. Last podcast, I was listening to it, and at the beginning, you were just like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a housing competition. And then I don't think we ever talked about actually doing it.
No, but I really want to do it. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, no, I think it would be cool.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm like, I would like to do more with my house. I just haven't like I spent a lot of gold trying to get a few more things to level up, and I'm like, oh man, like that was maybe not the most smart decision, but like I knew like my wife like really wanted to get a couple more things, so I was like, I don't mind spending like 50k gold or something. Like I don't think it was 50k, it might have been closer to like 30, but still it's like dang, like 30k can go a long way.
Oh my gosh.
So and I know your dilemma, so I was like, I don't want to turn the swag on.
Yeah. Listen, I actually...
Because his wife just like... Who just showers gold onto his wife.
Listen, dude, I love my wife. What can I say? I love my wife. Like, you know... I will say, though, I'm supposed to leave the details out of it, but I did come into a large sum of gold for my wife the other day. I don't think she's around, so I can probably just say it. No, one of our listeners was really awesome and wanted to put some gold towards the wife auction house fund for buying housing decor.
Dang!
So I sent her the gold that was donated, and the rest of the evening she's just cackling maniacally and giggling to herself, just going, I'm going to the auction house tomorrow. Like she was so excited. And luckily pricing on the auction house is coming down. Like I get if you're like a crafter and you're really sad the prices are coming down, but I'm not sad.
No, I'm not sad at all. No,
I'm very happy about that. To see prices finally kind of starting to drop, which is really good. But yeah, no, she was very excited.
Oh, that's really awesome, though. Like, we have listeners that are willing to.
By the way, I've done a study, a very scientific and professional study, and what came out was that the Warband has the best listeners of all podcasts. Yeah. Of all podcasts.
All podcasts, not even just WoW podcasts. Every podcast.
Of every podcast in the world, including podcasts that aren't even listed on the official podcast index.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd ever thought?
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
So,
I wouldn't have thought that.
It's a fact. You can't make that kind of stuff up. You couldn't make it up even if you wanted to.
Oh, my gosh. No, that's really neat, though.
Dude, you know it's a slow week when Wowhead is like their news for the week is like, yo, some people are making South Park themed houses.
Oh yeah, dude. Like it's totally like a slow week.
Yeah.
I did see that and I was like, I don't even know if I want to entertain that.
No. We're not talking about it. If anybody's curious, it's just there's literally like 2 screenshots of people that have South Park inspired houses. One is like using rugs to make the characters, and the other one's actually kind of cool. The one is like recreating the basement from the Warcraft episode of South Park. That's kind of a vibe.
Okay.
That's kind of a vibe. The other one was like, okay, whatever. But again, it's gotta be a slow week in news when that's the case. But Chick, I'm gonna let you say what you're gonna say, and then I kind of have a question I want to pose as well, or just like a thought, a topic.
Oh yeah. One, I don't think you ever actually talked about what you did this week, so maybe do that then. But 2, sometimes player housing like reminds me of like the old like custom emblems that you could make on like Call of Duty, where people would just make like the most like you'd see like emblems that were like, oh dude, this is so cool. Like
you watch like tutorials on how to make them.
Yeah, and you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! Like, how did someone do this?" And then you also see emblems that were just like BOOBZ boobs 69, haha, and you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?"
Yep. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta give the players a chance to make mistakes.
Where like I don't know if player housing has gotten to that yet, where there's just like some. Well, obviously it has a little bit because there's definitely like player housing that just literally has like pictures of Cartman and all the South Park characters on the wall. So
yeah.
Anyways, what were you up to in WoW? If you want to give us a little bit of a more preview, I think you said a little bit, but anything else? And then what's your topic?
Yeah. So obviously I've been honestly doing a weird amount of housing. I've just been tweaking my house a ton, which has been a blast. I knew I was gonna like housing. I didn't realize how much I was gonna like housing. I'm really enjoying it. Then the other stuff I've been up to this week, nothing like crazy or big. Just kind of playing retail. I've hopped on my shaman a couple of times to help other guildmates out and stuff, doing dungeons and things, which is fun. I enjoy playing it. I really enjoy playing it. So, the excuse to heal is not missed. I I'll hop on. In fact, there's actually a small part of me that's a little nervous going into midnight, going back to tanking. I'm excited to tank. I'm having fun playing my tank, but there's a part of me that keeps thinking like, can I balance both? Like, could I do both? Right. The problem though is like I'm not doubling my raid schedule. Right. Like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And so I know the answer is gonna be no. I have to pick one, and then towards the end of the season I can play the other a little bit. But I really am enjoying playing my healer, which has been fun. And then just warming up on my DK. I'm just running some kind of like right now. I think this week was like 8s and 9s. I probably should be doing 10s. I haven't done a whole lot of keys. Sorry, I got hiccups now. I guess I really am. I really am pretty tired. Sorry, I've been up since like 4 this morning.
Oh,
earlier than 4. I think my alarm went off at 3:45, and had music stuff I had to do, and it was the whole thing. So I've been like, I'm busy, but it has been fun playing my tank as well. And then what I think was the most fun for me this week, and maybe I talked about it last week on the podcast. Maybe I talked about it last week, so maybe it's not new. But it was just really fun for me. I've been slowly getting my wife into doing some slightly harder content, right? Nothing crazy, but just bringing her along. Now that she's feeling more comfortable in her character. So, like, I had bribed her with some gold to do dungeons, and that worked.
Yes.
That worked a little bit. Those were just like M0s. And then we did some LFR raiding, which is an experience. I'm kind of wanting to maybe do like a normal raid night or something. Or join one or something with her just to walk through mechanics and try that out, because they'll probably feel a lot better. Yeah. But that's been fun. Honestly, the most fun for me is just what I get to do with my wife right now, right? Like if I get to play some WoW with her and like show her things I like in the game, that's been like the most fun for me. But also, I think having excuses, because right now I don't have a goal. Like and that's probably why I get so stuck just doing my player housing. Is because I don't really have like a goal at the moment. I'm not logging in going, I need rating on my shaman. I'm just kind of logging in going like, I don't know what to do. I'm just logging in. I'm going to go, I don't know, work on my house.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Did you push anything on your tank? Like KSL or something? Or not KSL, KSH at least. Or KSM. Like, did you even get KSM?
Nah, I haven't really been trying. I don't know. I haven't really been trying. I've just been popping on, running some keys here and there. I could easily get KSM. I'll probably have KSM before the end of this week. Maybe, probably even KSL if I really play my DK this week.
KSL?
Or KSH. I mean KSH.
I was like, dang, bro, you're pumping.
But it wasn't really like a goal that I set. I wasn't like trying to do it. I was just trying to like warm up a bit on it before the new expansion.
Imagine you get KSL on a second character before I get KSL on one character.
Dude, challenge accepted.
No, dude.
What if you said that and then you turn around and I'm actually like 2,999 rating? I'm like, all right.
No, I know you're not that high rating. No. I know for a fact.
No, and today would be my best time to do it because I'm going to be pretty busy this week. And Bro, you can tell as soon as this podcast is over, your boy's taking a nap. So,
dude, oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You're like, screw the Eagles game. Like, I'm taking a nap.
Dude, I can watch the score afterwards on Google.
You can watch the score. You can figure out the score afterwards.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Kind of... So, anyways, I have a topic. I want to talk about. I was listening to another podcast yesterday while driving around, or maybe it was Friday. Sometime the past couple of days, I was listening to a podcast. One of the big ones. I'm not going to name names because I want to throw people under the bus. But the way they were talking about the current add-on situation in the beta, because I know there's been like a little bit of rolling back on like what data is or isn't available to add-ons. But there's also add-ons that are now finding like more creative and tricky ways to like get the like parse the data they want without actually being given that data. And listen to this podcast. It came across like angry at Blizzard or confused why Blizzard is allowing this stuff to happen. And the more I listen to it, and I kind of want your opinion because I always love the way you process. the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, guys, I think the people you should be upset with are the players of WoW, not the creators of WoW. And to give more context, it's like what we talked about when Capo was on recently on the podcast, where like it's almost at the point where you ask, should Blizzard just completely nuke add-ons 100% when you're in combat, right? Like, hey, the moment you enter combat, add-ons just don't work. Like, no add-on can do anything. Like, you couldn't even just use an add-on to move around your UI. Like, it's just, once you're in combat, because anything short of that almost feels to me like it can get abused. And I think what bothers me, and I think this is what I want to talk about, because I think it almost annoyed me a little bit, was I don't like the idea of players finding workarounds and then people being like, see, that's why Blizzard doesn't know what they're doing. I'm like, no, guys, it's literally just other players trying their, like, to game the system as hard as they can. And I guess that maybe confused me why, as I was listening to it, why not once was that ever brought up. Like, hey, maybe the issue isn't Blizzard. Maybe the issue is that players keep... Right, because like, I thought Blizzard didn't want add-ons. So why now can this add-on do this? And it's like, yeah, that's a great question. But I don't think it's a Blizzard question. I think it's hey, these players just went and wrote a script that, like, read the exact mob type of this mob and knows that this mob type, historically, because of the way Blizzard programs, often does this, right? Like, I don't know. It just, to me, it's like, man, it just becomes more complicated, but they're essentially doing the same thing, right? Rather than going up and be like, oh, we know this guy's going to cast this ability when he starts casting. We're going to warn you. It goes, oh, this character is a paladin type. Usually the paladin types in dungeons are going to do this. So we're going to right? Like, it's just, I don't know, man. To me, it's the point where it's like, and I get why Blizzard's rolling back a little bit. On the stuff Blizzard's rolling back, that's different, right? But this is stuff that, like, isn't being rolled back. It's just people are finding ways to get around it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I understand the gist of what you're saying. And like, my thoughts are this. It's hard, and I'm going to make an inference on the podcast that you're listening to and just assume that these players play the game at, like, a level that we don't even fathom.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And, like, to those people, like, I do understand, because, like, to them, like, WoW isn't just like a game, right? Like, WoW is almost like a lifestyle, right? WoW is how they make their money. I'm assuming if this is one of these podcasts, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I get that aspect, but at the same time, it turns out that, like, 95% of the time that changes are made, people just basically deal with them anyways. Like for example, I'm big into Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
You knew that, but I don't know if the listeners know that. I'm, like, big into Pokemon Go, and, like, every time there's a UI change, every time. Like, and it could be something like so minuscule as, like, oh, we're going to move the health bar from the bottom of your phone screen to the top of your phone screen. And people, like, lose it. Like, the people, like, the pro players are like, why would they ever do this? Like, I used to maneuver my hands, like, perfectly that I could see the health bar, and now I got to hold the phone differently. And it's like, okay, like, guys, like, it's okay. Like, the mass majority of people wanted this. I know it upsets, like, the 1%ers, but, like, I think it's one of those things where, like, we just kind of gotta deal with it. And I mean, my hands are tied, right? Yeah. WoW's a little different though, because I think there are some aspects that those people see and they're like, well, they get to save this, so, like, what's going on with that? And it's like,
yeah, I think what bothers me too is, like, it's what they're complaining about isn't even, what they're complaining about isn't even what Blizzard's doing. It's what other players are doing. And so it's like, I don't understand why this can be a thing. Blizzard said they didn't want this to be a thing. And it's like, yeah. And then these guys found the most convoluted way around what Blizzard did to block it. You know, that'd be like, I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to, like, I love analogies, right? Like, I love a good analogy, but my brain's working a little slow today. And so it is what it is, right? But it's like there's like construction on your road, right? And so the police block it off, and then some dude gets frustrated, so he literally just drives through the woods to get onto that road to go around the police blockade. And then somebody goes, I thought the police were going to block off this road. Okay, sure, but they weren't going to block off the trees, right? Like they weren't thinking somebody's just going to like go through the wilderness to get back onto this road where it was blocked off.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's just like, man, I feel like as players, do we ruin? I guess do we sometimes ruin the game for ourselves?
Yeah, it's really hard because one thing that I did say, like, these people play the game at such a different pace that we do. Like, these guys, like, and I'm not saying this is the person. Yeah, and I'm just referencing him because I think, like, one, I like his content for making these, and I used to watch him all the time, but I just don't watch him anymore. Like, I remember watching like videos of like Dratnos, and he's like opening up like vaults on like 4 characters, and they all have like mythic slot vaults, and it's like week 2, and I'm like, brother, like, what is going on? Yeah. Like, and I get that.
It makes you
like,
feel better. It's not Dratnos, so you're safe.
Oh, okay. I'm just using him as an example because I know that he makes this video.
I'm just memeing, yeah.
But like, I'm like, dude, like this guy, like we're talking like week 2 of an expansion, or week 2 of a season. This guy's literally got myth track on like 4 different characters, and I'm lucky if I have myth track on like 1 character on like week like 5. And so I do understand that point, but I also think it's one of those points of like, it's like, I don't want to say this, but it's like when your little brother gets like candy for breakfast and you have to eat broccoli. It's like, hey, like, come on, like, why does he get this but I don't get mine, right? Like, they definitely want their custom UIs and add-ons, and they're just not gonna get them, and it's like, sorry.
Like, and I think to that degree, that's like one thing. I think though what's getting me is is watching players come up with workarounds for what Blizzard's trying to do, right? So Blizzard blocks like an action, and then players find the most convoluted workaround of all time to make that still happen, right? Like very obviously shouldn't work. It just does because people know the system way too well. And then the other players go, wait a second, Blizzard, you said we weren't allowed to do that, so why is he doing that? And you're like, okay, well, clearly you understand this isn't Blizzard doing this, right? Like, I guess that's where it becomes weird to me. And it's not like hey, this exists, we should report it to Blizzard so it can also get blocked. It's just kind of like this, like, I don't understand why Blizzard allows this. And it's like, well, they probably don't. Like, this is very clearly against what they stated they want to do, right? Like a good example. This one's like this is an older example. So I think it's a good one. Is like when they were trying to, like, Blizzard's like, hey, we don't want you to know which ones are the casters. You have to figure that out yourself, right? And like work on that yourself. And then somebody came up with a way to track mobs based upon whether they had mana or not, right? So if a mob has mana, then they assume it's going to be casting bolts and needs to be interrupted, right? And all of a sudden now, like, there's an add-on that tells you, oh, this mob probably is casting bolts and you should interrupt it, all because it simply has a mana bar, right? And so now it's like, okay, well, now what? Does Blizzard just like delete mana bars from NPCs? Is that just like a no longer existing feature? Because, right? But then what's next, right? Like, they'll always find that next thing, right? They'll just go deeper into the files. They'll find something that goes, right? I mean, the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to be like, oh, hey, we know that in this specific dungeon, any character with this exact model is going to be using this ability, right? And then all of a sudden, you have the same problem happening again, but now it's because it just knows that the model loading in your game is for a very specific character that's going to do a very specific thing, or I don't know, man. So to me, it's frustrating because, like, dude, it is an arms race. There's an arms race right now between Blizzard and the players. And I just want to go to midnight and have it be a good game. If we go to midnight and add-ons, the whole add-on like turn thing is gone. Like, we just go in and add-ons are the same as they've always been. That's fine. I'm fine with that. If we go into midnight and add-ons are like totally nuked in every possible capacity, I'm fine. I'm fine with that, right?
I mean, that feels a little bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, not my favorite, but I'll live. Like, I'll still enjoy the game, right?
Oh yeah, like I wouldn't stop playing WoW just because add-ons were like nuked.
But I do think though that we're in a weird spot where players are working so hard to try. And by the way, somebody's going to do it, right? There's enough players that if one person has the moral compass to say no, clearly it's not what Blizzard's trying to do, I'm going to stay away from it. Someone else is going to come along and go, no, I need that. I need to do that. I need that information. And I don't know. I'm curious. I'm actually very curious to see what Race to World First is going to look like this year.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of tension around that, of just people being upset over seeing creative add-ons that exist, right? Because people are still going to want to do the same stuff they've always been able to do. They're just going to find really convoluted and crazy ways to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this could be like one of those things where like I guarantee you, like, they probably have like people making like custom code and like applications that just overface.
Yeah.
Like that, like just basically just like overlay your computer screen, and then like, which honestly would be pretty easily optimized and would be really good, that could easily be controlled by like a raid lead and just like press a button and then everyone's like UI basically starts running through stuff. Like that's 100% going to happen. But the hard part is it doesn't actually like interact with the game. So it's going to have like some kind of AI problem. I don't know.
By the way, what happens when AI, right? Like when AI starts getting like connected to add-ons, right? Think about how crazy that would be. And is there, okay, I'm going to conspiracy territory a little bit. Is there part of Blizzard that started to look at the AI thing and went, yo, we need to like nuke some add-on capacity for combat out of our game before AI gets involved?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think, my gut tells me that's probably not the conversation, but imagine if that was the conversation.
Yeah, I would think not.
But imagine if that was
weird, to be honest.
Right, like imagine if that was. Like imagine people at Blizzard like, yo, like within the next year, players are probably gonna start developing add-ons that like heavily utilize AI to like do cognitive load for them. We really need to get rid of like combat add-ons before that happens.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I don't think that's.
I don't know what else
that's
to
the
think.
answer.
Like that could be like a very realistic thing, to be honest. Like, I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Like, it could be very realistic that they are just like, with the way AI is kind of working, like AI could literally just like predict the whole entire fight, and that could make like it's so much easier. Like, imagine AI is literally just like rolling the odds of like this happening in a fight, and it's just like, like it predicts everything before it's gonna happen.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Granted, I don't know if the game is as fun at that point though, but it still has that competitive notion of like race to world first. So my guess is it'll still get played.
But I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what exists in the race to world first. What happens? Like what people get away with. I'm really interested to see if anybody does anything that actually genuinely gets them in trouble. I would imagine if what they're doing is just using any type of info they can easily get within the game and the add-ons running within the game. I think external, like what you talked about, watching the game and then doing stuff, I think that's against the TOS. But internally, like anything running within the game, is technically fair game, right?
But why would that be against like the terms of service?
Because Blizzard went back.
Add-ons used to do.
No, Blizzard went back. I think it was like a year or two ago, when we started getting the like better damage meters and stuff, the ones that were like external to the game.
Yeah.
And Blizzard like shut them down for whatever reason.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I was around for that.
Yeah. No, you were definitely around for that.
Was.
Yeah. It might have been like pre-podcast though.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't remember. I want to say it was during Dragonflight. So yeah, pre-podcast.
Yeah, don't ask me.
But basically, I think they're trying to run like add-ons as their own programs, And then they
wow.
they basically like watched WoW for like certain things, and Blizzard was like, no,
That's pretty awesome,
no,
actually.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
low key,
It's just
like
too
I'm not.
powerful. It's too powerful. There were ones that were gonna be able to like trace things on your screen and like do a lot of like heavy cognitive load, and Blizzard was just like, no.
That's honestly that's low key kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, cool concept, but just way overpowered.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So we've got some news, not a lot of news, but Chicken, what is going on in WoW right now?
Yeah, we don't
Or
got a
coming up?
ton of news, but let's talk about that news. So obviously pre-patch on January 20th. That is 1 week away. If you have not done what you would like to do in WoW, including AOTC, KSM, KSL, KSH, and or any PvP things, those need to be done by the 20th. Lemix also leaves on the 19th. Again, not sure why. 1 day earlier, maybe to reduce some load from pre-patch. No idea. Anyways, yeah, so all that kind of stuff goes on. We got some more information about beta. It looks like the mounted mining is going to actually come a little earlier. I think people were used to be like really upset at how long it took to get mounted mining, and Swag, you're probably like, I have no idea what you're talking about. With the talent points from like the professions, and that is actually coming like super soon now. So people will be happy about that. Any professions people
I don't even know you could mine when you're mounted. That's like a talent thing for professions.
Yeah, but it used to be like, I think it used to be after like 40 achievement points, and now I think it's only 20, which is like crazy good. Like you'd be able to almost get that in like week 1, I think, with all like the extra profession things, with like the extra profession points that you can get from certain things around the map. So that's really clutch that you can now maybe get it like week 1.
Wow, that's awesome.
Again, we mentioned this last week. There's a lot of Wowhead articles about each individual class and spec. So if you're interested to see how your class and or spec will be changing in Midnight, kind of look at those. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I always think it's so hilarious when I look at the DK1, and it's always like it's never like at the top of the list anymore because I think people have just accepted it, but it's always like, oh, DK raid buff ? And I'm like, yeah, we're never gonna get that.
No, DK raid buff? DK. Well, the problem too is we had one raid this season or this expansion right at the end where they like went all in on the DK death grip buff thing, whatever. But I can't fathom their like I can't fathom
was
every
it Manaforge?
Yeah. I can't fathom
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah. You need 2 DKs on some fights.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm. But I can't fathom Blizzard's going to keep that up for every raid in perpetuity.
But like, do you mean as in raid buffs?
No, as in like the I just mean like they can't keep up the whole like DK has to be the death grip. Like every raid needs 2 fights that require death grip, right? Like I don't know. It seems like they're putting themselves in the box for design.
I guess my question is, like, are we talking, does it need it? Or so like when we say you need two DKs for some fight, you're talking about like cutting edge, right? You're not talking about like, oh, if you want to pug it on like normal, obviously it doesn't need to.
Yeah. Maybe not normal, but heroic and mythic. You need like 2 DKs for Dimensius, I think.
Really? There was 2 DKs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't think we had many DK raiders in our guild.
On heroic we had to find another workaround, but I think the mythic it was like DK.
Like that's your only option.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Frost has been really good this season, so it might have just made it based on pure damage alone because they have pretty good damage. But like it's kind of crazy that it is. Yeah, because wasn't there like 0 fights in Liberation that required it, or was it the first one? Because I'm pretty sure either Liberation or Not Mana Forge Omega.
I think
is
it
the
probably
one right now.
it was probably Liberation. I feel like there's something in. I feel like there was something in the Rhubarb Palace that needed to be gripped. I think, or maybe
Weirdly
I just
enough,
maybe
I
just like
should
gripping
know
things. Yeah.
because I was in that. I just don't. Like
Yeah.
I rated with the guild men. I just do not remember
I'm
if
trying to
we
remember what
needed
like
it.
had to be gripped versus just what was convenient to grip, right? Because there's definitely things I gripped, but like, was it because I like no one else could do it? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Anyways, why don't we move on to some of our listener questions
After a message from our viewers
or
Oh, I don't know,
sponsors,
maybe.
maybe
Yeah.
however that works. But with that said, if you are looking for some extra help in World of Warcraft, trying to just figure out how to do crap, right? Like make gold, how to level up. Maybe you want to get into some classic WoW even, and you're just not even sure like how to get started truly. We want to recommend Zygor, which is a super powerful add-on that helps with, it's basically just a guide add-on, helping with pretty much anything that you're going to need help with, leveling, questing, achievements, gold making. You can check out their website. They have it all there. In fact, use the link down in our description. That link is going to support this podcast when you use it. And to support you, you can use code SWAGLOCK for 20% off. That's code SWAGLOCK for 20% off. As always, we want to encourage you guys. Feel free to come check out our, our guild. I stumbled over my words there. But feel free to come check out our guild. We really do love hanging out with all of you, playing WoW together, running dungeons, even raiding a little bit together. Has been a blast. So if you're looking for a guild, looking for somewhere to hang out and to connect with other players and just have an enjoyable and fun space, you can do that. Now, the little disclaimer is that while Chick and I are in the guild and a part of the guild, it's not actually our guild. We don't run the guild. We're just a part of it. We love this guild. It's one that we have found and have grown really close to. And so if you're looking for a new guild to call home, reach on out. You can join our Discord, Mind Chicken's Discord, with the link in the description. And when you're in there, feel free to ask questions about the guild. And if you want, we can get you an invite into it. And lastly, maybe even the most important, in fact, it is the most important, it is our Patreon. This podcast is funded by Patreon. You guys keep the lights on around here. You make sure that our hosting fees are covered, and we are so stinking appreciative of that. If you want to support our podcast, if you want to support the Warband and all that we're doing, please feel free to check out our Patreon link down in the description. That goes a long way. But with all that said, it is now time for some listener questions. If you want to send in your own listener question, you can do so via the Pod Questions channel on Discord, or you can do it in the Patreon Pod Questions channel on the Discord.
Yeah,
Those do get priority, so our Patreon supporters do get priority questions. This week, though, we have 2 questions coming in. Our first one from Tiger Ace Ray. By the way, congrats on the newborn. I'm excited for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I think it's been like the hospital like half this week just waiting. But all right. He said, I almost forgot to put it in. Best raid and dungeon, the new ones from The War Within. So Chick and I did rank every dungeon in The War Within, new and old, on Patreon. So feel free to check that out. However, we're just going to say, what is the best raid and the best dungeon of the new dungeon? So no like returning dungeons. Do you have any input?
Yeah, so raid, even though I didn't do a lot of it, is probably gonna be Liberation. I liked Liberation. I think it was good. I think the aesthetic made the raid. I mean, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think the aesthetic of the first raid was like cool spiders, awesome, right?
Yeah.
The aesthetic of the current raid is like cartel, ethereal, that's cool. The gangster, goblin, cartel, drug cartel, more I'm not trying to be weird, but that was more okay, this is high roll, or this is cool, that aesthetic just made it so cool.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, I'm the agree. By the way, I really like Mana Forge. I think Mana Forge is super cool and it's very creative.
Yeah.
And if Mana Forge was a raid last expansion, it probably would have been my favorite. It would have been my favorite. But dude,
Really?
Undermine is sick. Undermine is a
Yeah,
sick
Undermine is
expansion
so
or a sick
cool,
raid.
dude.
Yeah, yeah. Just all the vibes, dude. It's got the vibes.
It's so cool. Like it's such a dope raid, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what could beat it, to be honest. I just don't.
Dungeon's hard. Dungeon's a hard one. I like part of me just wants to go, oh, the ones I get the most excited to do are probably like Floodgate or Ecodome. I really get excited to do those ones. However, I'm gonna throw in a little bit of a controversial one. You know, I really love doing Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker, every time I do Dawnbreaker, it's so fun. Dude, Dawnbreaker, and it's cool. It's experiential. You're like flying through the city. You're trying to get on your mounts and mount up and fly make combat.
Yeah.
And it works out. It pays off really well in Dawnbreaker. So, as much as like I want to say like a Floodgate, which is awesome. Floodgate's a good dungeon. You know, I'm going to upset people, but I really do love Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, I think I'll take the opposite. Like I'm stuck between the two as well because I'm like, oh, like they're both really good dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll take Floodgate because I do really like Floodgate. Floodgate is probably my favorite dungeon this expansion, but it is really close, like super close between Floodgate and Dawnbreaker. But
yeah,
I like Floodgate. There's just something about Floodgate. It's a good dungeon. It's fun. Like it has basically every major point that I would look for when it comes to a dungeon.
Yeah.
Like it's got the RP. It's got like the cool like we're kind of like destroying these little things. Like it's like almost like a little side quest kind of deal. Like it's got everything.
And how they like remove bubbles was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like that dungeon has everything. Like, come on.
Now, we got another question coming in from Rack, and he said it's kind of a two-part question. So part one, we'll answer first. Do you feel like you got everything you wanted accomplished in this expansion, in the War Within? Any loose ends that you want to clean up before you leave Dornigal forever?
Yeah, so obviously there's two big ones lurking for me this week. But again, I don't have any unconfidence that I won't get those done. I think I've said this for a long time. I'm still gonna say it. I want to get the meta achievement. Like I want to get that stupid mount, and I want to get the Dark Heart decor. Like I want to do that. Like that feels to me like an area of the game that I've been just neglecting for a long time. Like I've never been questing. I've never been doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I did the Delves achievement. That felt really good. But I'm a little nervous to tackle everything that goes into the meta achievement. So I might chicken out, but I'd really like to get that. Like really. And once Turbulent Time Waves comes out and the rep stuff gets increased a lot, I think it'll be a lot easier. But I think I think my thing is this. If I start it and get like 75% of the way done,
yeah,
even after midnight starts, like I'll feel like really good at some point to be like, okay, I need to go back and finish this.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I'm thinking if I just do it and brunt through like the first 50% of it, then like the next 25% will probably feel a little bit easier. And then after that, it'll be like, okay, I've gotten this far. I just need to do it. Right?
Especially with the housing decor attached to it, right? I like that. Right. I like oh.
Huh?
Oh, all right. I just saw a little bit of news. We'll touch on that in a second.
Okay.
We'll touch on that in a second. However, honestly, I'm hyped. But anyways, yeah, I like that they've attached decor to like the meta achievements and stuff. I like one of the things I think decor does a good job at, maybe even a better job than mounts do, is being able to display like what you've achieved, right? Like, because mounts kind of were that for a while, and still to an extent are. I think just about everything in WoW should feel a little bit like that. But housing feels special because, like, I don't know, it's just cool to be like, oh, this is my house because I worked hard for this. This is a cool little display piece. I don't like it when it's like, hey, here's a chair that you have to work really hard for. But when it's like, here's something like the dark heart. Here's something symbolic that like kind of means something. That to me is cool.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right. Last question. We'll keep this one brief, and then I'll share that little bit of news that I just saw. Yeah. So looking back on the expansion as a whole, War Within versus Dragonflight, was one better than the other in your opinion? And if so, what ways?
Oof, this is a hard question. Like, it really is, because to me, and like all BS aside, to me, these are the only two expansions I've ever played. Well, I don't know why I said all BS aside.
Yeah.
So like, to me, these are the only things I have to compare to. Like, I started in Shadowlands, but I wouldn't say I actually played Shadowlands really. I played the last season, and I got KSM and I got AOTC somehow. Basically, you know, I wasn't like super involved. So Dragonflight, the start of Dragonflight to me was like the first real expansion I ever played. So I feel like it's always going to have a place in my heart.
Absolutely.
That being said, though, the War Within was really good.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think it's got to be Dragonflight. I think Dragonflight was just really good. I think everything Dragonflight did it well, and I don't want to say it was basic, but like it was good. Like, they came in, they did it, and they left. Right. Yeah. Season 4 was you know, season 4s are always and you know, War Within next season 4, so. You know, that's maybe a high point of that, but you know, player housing came out and that was a big deal. So
that's true.
Yeah, I think I would have to say Dragonflight.
So I don't know which one I pick, and I don't think I'm gonna give it a straight answer. Only because, again, and it's weird having two expansions back to back that feel so similar, right? Like Dragonflight and Shadowlands did not feel similar at all, right? But so I don't think I'm gonna pick one that I think is better. What I will say though, and you can take what you want from it, I think the War Within had better raids than Dragonflight. I think Dragonflight had a much better leveling questing experience, like for the zones. The initial Dragonflight zones were much better. Although, I would say the War Within endgame zones are better than the Dragonflight endgame zones. Emerald Dream was awesome. Like, Emerald Dream might be a little better than Koresh. But the Emerald Dream kind of felt almost like a nothing burger in terms of like Emerald Dream story progression. It was too focused on like the very specific thing that was going on. And so although we got to see the Emerald Dream, it wasn't like we actually got to really expand that lore more. Whereas Koresh, we got to actually finally go see the planet and actually learn more about the ethereals and learn the connection they have with the brokers, right? Which is really cool. And then Undermine. Undermine was Undermine was so good. Undermine, beautiful. I love Undermine. I love Undermine so much. We could go back to Undermine again in another expansion, and I'd be totally fine with that.
You'd be like, yeah, this is great.
I'd be great. Yeah, this is awesome. So better initial zones in Dragonflight, but better end game zones in War Within.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah, I mean, maybe I am biased just because Dragonflight kind of holds a place in my heart. But
I will say, I mean, Halifall is cool, so give Halifall some credit. But the rest of the War Within zones are like, okay, whatever. Whereas, like, every one of the initial Dragonflight zones were a banger, right? Like, every one that's, like, on the main island was a banger, right? Maybe I just really didn't like the caverns underneath for whatever reason. But
the caverns were cool. It's just they felt a little, like, lackluster almost. Like, it felt like they were added because they just, like... It was like, we've never done this before.
We need to test it before the War Within. Yeah, that's what it was. I will say, though, I think I said raids were better. I would say dungeons. I think dungeons as a whole, including returning dungeons, I think were better in War Within than in Dragonflight.
I would disagree.
A lot of great changes, too, I think, to the affixes and whatnot. I just think the
Yeah.
experience was a little bit better. So that's kind of my take between the two. That's kind of where I live.
Yeah. I would agree with the raids better in the War Within, but I would disagree with the dungeons being better. I think the dungeons were better in Dragonflight.
Makes sense.
But again,
oh, I guess Algathar was in Dragonflight, right?
yeah, Algathar was really good. The Mega Dungeon was really good.
It was a good Mega Dungeon. But also, I did like though both Eco Dome and Floodgate would have replaced the Mega Dungeon, right? And I think Eco Dome and Floodgate are both better than either part of the Dragonflight Mega Dungeon.
Maybe. It is kind of funny though that like both dungeons that were like part of like the point or the 0.1 and 0.2 patches are like the better dungeons of the whole expansion.
Yep. All right.
Anyways,
with that said,
breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. We'll talk about this, and then we're just gonna wrap up the podcast. This isn't gonna be long, but pretty strong reports coming out right now that Blizzard is developing a brand new StarCraft game. But this one's gonna be a third-person shooter, and we're probably not gonna really hear anything more about it until BlizzCon.
Wow.
So yeah, it's being reported by Dexerto, which they're usually pretty on top of some of these rumors, and so their sources are usually pretty solid. We'll see what happens. The only thing I mean, again, it's not Warcraft, but it is a Blizzard IP, and a well-loved Blizzard IP that doesn't get much attention anymore. And the only thing that makes me curious about it though is like people who love StarCraft. Aren't clamoring for a third-person shooter, right? Like, they just want more StarCraft. Like, more RTS. I think that's what WoW did well, was when World of Warcraft came out, it came out very shortly after Warcraft 3. So you weren't sitting around going like, oh, we need another RTS. And then Blizzard goes, well, I know you want an RTS, but here's something else, right? At that point, it was like, yeah, we want to see this world. This is so cool. Like, but who knows? Maybe it'll be awesome. I'm curious to see what happens, but yeah, breaking news might be a new StarCraft game on the horizon.
Yeah, that's kind of neat, actually.
Yeah, and if you remember when when Microsoft bought out Blizzard, Activision Blizzard King, right? They bought the company out. StarCraft was one of the games that was like in the promo material for that buyout, which is pretty unique that they would pick that over maybe other IPs that exist. So. I'll say that's everything we have time for in the podcast today. Swag's got to take a nap. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, buddy.